right. Hey, everybody. This is Robert. I did a recording here a couple hours ago, and I thought of a few other things, and I think I'm going to go ahead and put two out today, or have two recordings of me put out today while I'm thinking about this. So I want to start back in the beginning when I got out of prison on April the 13th, 2021. People that have been following this channel know a lot about my story. I've been pretty candid about my life experiences, what happened. I'll start again. I got out April the 13th on compassionate release. That is 2021. Within a couple days, actually within 2 weeks, I was handed a bunch of property. I think 18 lots total at the time. A house, which I then was able to use as a down payment for the house that I still have today. And I was waiting on a wife that I had from Spain that was coming to join me, but because of immigration and COVID, it was taking taking a little bit of time. In the process, like I said before, I started drinking from the day I got out, and it wasn't like full blown, getting messed up all the time. Nevertheless, it progressed into pills, meth, marijuana, whatever, over a period of time. I did a video recording 2 weeks after I got out to myself. It was just a voice recording to myself. And I heard this, and I played it back probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was going through some old voice messages, actually, and actually with my dad, but I came across this one. And it was me talking about how grateful I was for the gifts I'd been given, the family I had, the wife that was coming, the property I was given. And in that video, I was reflecting or just talking to myself, saying what I wanted to do with my life. And that was, I was going to go the real estate route. I had the opportunity. I had the means. I had people that were backing me. And I remember doing that, and it was really clear, and the goal I had was clear, a 10-year goal, X amount of rental houses, retired. And it was right there. It was like at the grasps of right there within reach. And I can say, because of alcohol, especially any kind of meth use, because meth stays with you you don't just do meth like cocaine and it goes away. It changes your brain totally. And I can honestly say, given that, and when my wife came, we didn't have enough time to really just be by ourselves. She was kind of pushed into the family issue, and my dad was also dying of a terrible disease, and which would take him in January of the following year. But a lot was going on, and I didn't know how to handle it in retrospect. I look back and I think about it now. I just didn't really know how to handle what was given to me so quickly, and the relationships I had, and that is with my wife and my children. I failed at those relationships miserably, and instead of really trying to take the time and working on them, I would just use alcohol and drugs to try to justify for what I was doing, process whatever the deal was, self-pity, whatever was going on. And of course, there was some successes. I started doing a little legal work, didn't get too far. YouTube channel took off really good, but things were not good. I can really say now all the way around. When my dad died, that was pretty much that's pretty much put a fork in it, I think, for me. That's when I really descended mentally, and I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know how to handle things that were said on the deathbed. I didn't know how to handle things that were going on in the family dynamic after a parent died. I didn't know how to handle a wife that we didn't really even have, a newlywed process. I didn't know how to handle the daughters that I never had relationships with. I didn't know how to handle what I was going to be when I grow up. I still don't know how to handle what I'm going to be when I grow up. I didn't know how to handle it all. Nevertheless, I cannot say that people did not try to help me time and time again, especially when it comes to the probation. Federal probation has a lot of, they can really, really help people in a lot of ways. Whether it's housing, food stamps, whatever. I didn't need that, of course, but they helped me and tried to help me with my addiction issues. And you know what? Every time that I went into rehab, I believed that I was going to be sober. I did believe it. The first time there was other issues going on where it made it almost impossible, but I believed it in my heart, especially when I came out this last year. One of the things that I failed to do, and I've just figured this out within the last couple days. I got the AA book, the NA book. I loved going to meetings. I did get a sponsor. The original one didn't really work out for whatever, because I started using. The second one I got, and we just started working the steps, and of course I started using again. But I was reading the big book. I was reading the NA book, but I never finished through chapter 6. The reason I bring this up is because it talks about, it goes into self-pity, self-loathing, trying to add context or make up reasons for why you do the things you do. The biggest things in my life in the past 2 years have been my relationship with my wife and my financial issues. That's just kept me in a state of disarray. And I always succumbed to using, no matter how much clean time I had, over those two issues, time and time again. There's this myth that I didn't have much clean time, especially in the last year. That's not true. There was quite a bit. But what I did do wrong is I didn't keep reading. I didn't keep reading that book. I didn't keep going to meetings. When I felt shame instead of going. I went within myself. I just started using, or sat around depressed, feeling sorry for myself, wishing people would see the little progress I was making. I think that's a big important thing. I wanted some kind of recognition for the little things that I was doing when I hadn't done the big work or hadn't done the work yet. And I saw that a couple days ago, and even more today, so I can say that. And I bring all this up because people that get out of prison, most people do not have what I had. I was given the gift of that any person that gets out of prison can dream of in every aspect of life, every which way. There's no reason that I failed other than the fact that I didn't do the work when it comes in to the NA program or the AA program, and I prefer the AA over NA, by the way. But nevertheless, it's one and the same when it comes down to it. I want people to understand that when I say this right now, I'm saying this for anybody out there who knows people that get out of prison, that may get out of prison and hear this later, that one of the things you really need to do is stop making excuses for yourself and start trying to do the work, no matter how hard life gets, no matter how tough a relationship is, no matter how tough your financial situation is, because you can end up like me. I'm still fortunate. I will say that. I have somebody that's helping me put these recordings out. I still have family. I have a house that's somebody's renting, and it's going to be able to provide me commissary money for when I'm in prison. So I'm still I've still got it better, I should say, than other people. Nevertheless, the judge said this today, and he wanted me to reflect about the damage that I've done to my family, to my wife, to my relationships in general. And on that note of relationships, I was always really good at relationships in prison. And this isn't just about being around guys or something. I think in prison, I really strive to keep my word. I really, that's maybe because it's danger. I don't know. Maybe because I don't know how to react with females or act. That's including my daughter's wife, mother's, sisters, whatever. And time and time again, what I would just do is I would start using. So the moral of the story is that to keep reading that book. If you're an addict, okay, or if you're not an addict and you're still struggling, to keep fighting, keep moving forward, and to not try to make up excuses for the reasons why you do the things you do. And that's really probably my biggest failure, is trying desperately to show people the little steps I was making, and when I didn't get the results or the attention or the recognition for those little things, I would then turn around and use, which caused everybody to be right. Time and time again, people would say I was doing this when I wasn't, and then I would do it. Time and time again, people would say I was not doing this, and then I wouldn't. Issues with work, were a really big deal. People thought I didn't want to go to work. I desperately tried to get a job, and I just didn't know how to navigate that the right way. And I know that sounds crazy, and I remember one of the chief probation officers telling me, I've got guys that have been 30 years in prison that get out and get a job the next day. Well, they're not me. But making up excuses to myself, not to others, to myself, has been probably my big, no, not probably, absolutely my biggest failure. And I have to pay the consequences, and that's why I'm here today, and that's why I just got 14 months. I admitted that I lied, and I want to really push that point. I went and failed a drug test that I was clean. It came up negative in the positive in the bottle, and it was going to be negative in the lab. I knew it, but because when they put a sweat patch on me, that's a drug sweat patch. When he put that on my body, my mind was trying to scramble as a way to use again. I lied and said that I was positive because I wanted to go then use drugs and have a reason why the patch would then be positive. So my mind was going forward and reaching out for my next fix when I wasn't even high. That's how fucking sick it is. And didn't get high until I got to jail and admitted this to the judge today. So that in itself is insanity. Just the way that went down. I would not be in here today if I did not lie about a drug test that I did not fail, because in the back of my mind, I wanted that last hurrah. And that's just, I mean, I'm sitting here right now, only a couple hours from sentencing thinking about it, and it's just crushing me, and other factors as well. But again, more so than anything, I want to put this out just as of what not to do. Hopefully this can reach people. Hopefully somebody that's in my shoes can relate and maybe turn their life around and try to steer in the right direction. Right now it's not, I want to say it's too late because I'm incarcerated, but it's not too late to change my life. And I'll get this figured out. The judge, when sentenced me, didn't have very high hopes that there's going to be a silver lining in this, but did say if I get it together that he wants me to look him up and go have dinner with him. I think he said he would pay. And Judge Brooks, when you hear this, because I know you will, I'm going to hit you up and you're going to pay for that dinner. So anyway, I just wanted to say that. Just the little ramblings that's going on in my head right now. And I will do the Carmine Persico thing for tomorrow. Take care. That's all.